happened. Like I was with Marcus, and then he broke my phone.
So
Tom, yes,
it's trial by friendship, is what you're saying. Put them up for trial.
I'm telling you, get your friends in a group, just surround the two of you, and then you shame him in a way that you make it seem like it's funny, like it's a joke, right?
Yeah.
Like to harken back to something that was happened on our podcast once, we brought up how we wouldn't allow our friends to do sexual things with other people on our beds, right?
Right.
Yep.
And then one day, when our friends heard this on the podcast, one of our friends grabbed us and be like, "Hey guys, guess what Damien Marcus said? They said they wouldn't let us do sex things on their bed." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course they wouldn't."
So they were trying to use it against you.
The funny thing is about all of that is all of our friends ganged up on us. Like, why wouldn't you do that? It's like, are we the only people that like that way inclined where we don't want people to do anything on our bed?
You thought you were the norm, but it turns out you were the weirdos.
We were the weirdos. We were the black sheep of our friendship group.
And here's the thing, though. Like, I didn't feel offended or actually attacked. I thought it was funny, and the way he brought it up, right? I thought it was a funny thing that we were getting grilled about, especially because we're the normal ones in this situation. We can all agree on that.
We are.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's a way you could frame this phone thing and be like, "Oh, he broke my phone, and he doesn't want to pay." You can try and make it seem like a lighthearted thing.
But could that backfire on you? If you have a group of friends and they all say no, you have to split it halfies or whatever it is, do you then just swallow it at that point?
You swallow the phone.
Well, that's the thing.
Yep.
I think
you
hide the
swallow
evidence.
If your friends agree and say, yes, he's absolutely allowed to have sex on your phone, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hang on, I mixed the two stories there.
No, you got it.
Sex on the phone. That's it.
But you're right. It could backfire, but I guess that's the only way. I don't know. This is hard. This is very hard.
That's okay. I feel like, look, we've sort of got a little bit here, a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I personally think that if you've thrown the phone, you should be expected to pay because that's a no-go with a phone in my eyes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that.
Let's leave it there then for I Got a Feeling. So who wants to go up next with the next question? Damien?
I volunteer as tribute.
Go for
it. So this is a song that I threw at Marcus that he did not like. Have you guys heard of the old American band called The Shags?
I have heard of The Shags, yes.
Yeah, so they are, for those who don't know who are listening out there, they are this American band that have since established a cult status because of how bad their music is.
Right.
And
is it intentionally bad? Like, do they go to be intentionally bad?
So what happened was, the story behind him is there were three sisters, and their dad started the band for them because the dad's mum was a palm reader. And she read the dad's palm when he was younger and said, "You're going to marry there's three things. You're going to marry a blonde woman. You're going to have 3 daughters, and then these daughters are going to go on to be in a famous band." And then by chance, the dad happened to marry a blonde woman. He had 3 daughters. So then he thought, "Shit, my mum's 2 for 3. That means my daughters are destined for fame." He pulled them out of school, bought them instruments, and was like, "Okay, record an album now, and we're going to be rich."
Oh my God!
Turns out they were really bad at music.
Well, look. They're not. He's not wrong. It's not that they're going to be rich. They said famous. He just forgot to say infamous.
The mum didn't specify how they would be famous.
Famous in a bad way.
But if anyone wants to hear it, the song I've picked is called "My Pal Foot Foot." And when you listen to it, it breaks your brain because it defies all rules of music. I've tried to learn it just for fun, and I'm like, I don't even. What time signature is this? It doesn't exist. You've made your own time signature.
So they just go by their own rules, I guess.
You know why they're so famous? Because nobody could be that bad at music.
Yeah. Well,
it's like jazz if it was shit.
Fair. That's a fair assumption.
And I've tried to get into it because it has this cult status, and I never can. It just doesn't work for me.
All right,
I don't know how you could.
The foot then.
All right, so Foot writes in, "How do I prove to my wife she's wrong? So my last name is Doe. It hasn't affected my life much apart from occasionally being called Dodo while growing up, or friends spelling it Doe as a joke. And I'm generally pretty neutral about it. My wife is 6 months pregnant and wants to name our future son after her grandfather, who passed away recently. His name was John. So our kid's name would be John Doe.
Right.
I like her grandfather, and I know he and my wife were very close, but I won't even consider it, not even for a middle name. I feel that's just setting up for a world of problems, especially when he grows up to apply for jobs, etc. Nobody's going to believe John Doe is his real name. My wife thinks I'm an asshole, but I think I'm correct. How would you deal with this? Foot.
That is a great name. I can't believe he's trying to rob his son from being John Doe officially.
What?
Well, look, I'm going to agree with you, Marcus, because I don't think you'll ever run into a John Doe because it is such
You'll never run.
It is the common name. No one's going for it. So if anything, I think it's the rarest name there is.
Yeah.
John Doe is literally a name given to every unidentifiable male corpse that is found. Why would you want to name your son after that?
Because that's not John Doe. That is a John Doe. They call them a John Doe. Okay.
A John Doe.
First name, middle name John.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work in a job where I have to use fake names all the time, and John Doe is used.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not just not just corpse names. I think fake names.
Yes, it is. It is a place filler name. So I think that would cause problems if on your passport it has John Doe, on your driver's license it has John Doe. You get pulled over for by the cops and you say, "What's your name, John Doe?" Everyone's going to think you're being a smartass, or you're trying to that it's a fake passport or whatever.
Like that's the sample. It says an example of when you're filling the format. It's like, no, that was the example. You didn't need to actually write that. And he's like, no, that's my name.
Yes, exactly.
I wrote it.
Well, hold on. I know that right now the grandfather's name is John. Yeah, maybe it's Jonathan. What if you said Jonathan?
Well, John Doe.
I think you're still going to have Jonathan Doe. I don't think that fixes the problem.
I think that it will be a great name to have, and I understand where you're coming from, Damien. I understand it. However,
I come from a place of facts because I looked up to see if there were John Does in the world, and there was a Korean man in America called Zhang Du, and he decided when he came to America he wanted to have an English name. So he went for John Doe, considering that was like the Korean, the English equivalent. And he said that was the biggest mistake he's made because now he's caused problems at airports, for job interviews, for all that type of stuff. I set you up for failure. I did my research, motherfucker.
They're like, we're not going to hire the dead guy, John Doe. He's dead. He's in a body bag. He's not going to get the job.
He's in a body bag. All right. But where's the argument to have it as a middle name?
That's a good point.
Why can't he have John as his middle name?
I agree. All right. If it was like Marcus John Doe.
Yeah.
MJ Doe.
MJD.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this guy is being an asshole in terms of not even allowing she wants to pay respects to her grandfather, and he knows the grandfather as well. So it's not like someone random as well that you get. I understand, but come on, give a dog a bone sort of thing.
You're right. There is a way to work around it, and at least John is better than Dill or Taekwon before Doe,
Yeah. Dill, I like Dill. That's great.
But what about if you go down because you know how different languages have different sort of styles for names, like Giovanni.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could do like Juan Doe.
Juan Doe.
Exactly. The one Doe.
It's one Doe.
It's one of those things that you always have to consider what the name you choose for a child and how it sort of ties in with something else. If it doesn't sort of sound right, you got to think phonetically, does it flow? And this sort of situation is it's too sort of obvious of a bad idea that you would just sort of shelve it, you would think.
When you named your kid Tom, did you do the Homer Simpson thing of when you came up with the name trying to see if it rhymes with fart or something like that,
words?
Just to make sure?
Well, Homer didn't do that because
he didn't. Yes, that's why I was saying
there was one of those things. It wasn't necessarily the name. We were going through middle names as well, and it turns out that there was a movie that had basically the names of my daughter would be the same name as this movie, and it was a horror movie. And I was oh well, we're not going to do that because that's a horror. If that's it's I'd never heard of it, but apparently I heard that it's going to be remade. So I'm like, probably a good thing now that it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Or that we didn't go with cultural relevance again.
Yeah, because kids can be cruel.
Yeah, kids can be cruel, but the one thing I've spoken to my fiance about names as well, and we've gone through what about for a boy girl name, what about for a girl name, whatever it is, and we've always fell on L, names that start with L, and I have a problem with that. I'm like, because my last name, how it works is it's like Al, and I'm like, I don't want everything to be Al, and it's like everyone's like, oh, they must really like Al, because I've seen like some people really like certain letters. I'm like, oh, I don't think that's for me. And
I guarantee you, if you called your kid a name that started with L, I would start calling them LL Cool J all the time. So you're right to be wary of that.
Well, I am probably still gonna do that. So my child is gonna be LL Cool J.
It was LL Cool J, then your last name.
Yeah.
The full name is LL Cool J.
Be a bit much.
Well, speaking of horrible names, Marcus came across my horrible Skype name when we were setting this all up that I completely forgot about. Marcus, can you please enlighten the people with what my Skype name is?
I'll enlighten the people with how I came across it. So we were talking about organizing Skype. And so I was at the middle of work, and I've got Skype at my work, and I'm doing my work, and then Damien just goes, hey, can I add you? I'm like, yeah, go for it. And then on my little work screen pops up, the original party girl wants to add you as a friend.
What?
And I'm like, who is the original party girl wanting to add me as a friend?
Wow.
It sounds like a bot, like a cam girl adding you or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. And I looked into it, and then it actually said Damien is trying to add you. I'm like, okay, he's just put some funny name.
Do you know why I'm mortified about that? Because you don't use that username to log in. So I made my account years ago. I've done job interviews on this Skype account.
No, you have not. There's no way.
I swear to God, I have done job interviews. So no wonder I didn't get the jobs, because they were bloody like, not only is he a party girl, but he's the original party girl. He's trouble.
Well, they don't want the original party girl because she's been around for too long.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Then my original Skype username actually got me to look into something. I found that the Victorian government every year releases a list of names that they've had to reject within that year. So I've grabbed some of my favorites, and I want you guys to, if you gun to your head that like you have to name your kid based off one of the names on this list, I want you guys to both pick one.
Okay.
Done. All right, let's do it.
Okay. First off, Anzac.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Second, Commodore.
All right.
Which I can see being very popular in Australia.
Yeah, true.
Seaman.
Okay.
As in SEA man.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Messiah. Brother/sister. So either one have both been banned.
Okay.
Brother.
Satan. Prime Minister.
Oh boy.
And last off, Majesty.
Ooh. Well, look, I was going to say, as a massive 90s wrestling fan that I am not, I would go with Brother, purely for Hulk Hogan.
Whenever you're calling your kid in the room, just Brother every time.
Brother. Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Marcus?
I really like Messiah.
I was going to say Messiah sounds okay.
And Messiah sounds all right. You're a hot mess. I can just say, hey, hot mess, come over here.
Hot mess.
Like, you got to think of the nicknames you got there. Like Tom's child was like, hey, bro, come over here.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good one. I like that one. But then, hey, hot mess, come over here.
Why hot mess? It's not. It's Messiah.
It's Messiah.
I know. But...
Say, hey, chosen one, come over here.
Yeah.
Damien, which one would you pick?
It was funny to see. Majesty on the list because I'm aware that Michael Jackson's brother Jermaine has a son called Jer Majesty. So it's Majesty with J-E-R at the start of it. So I think maybe he's seen this list and's like, hang on, I've got a loophole. Let's chuck a Jer at the front of it. And then it's all good.
Got it over the line.
That's exactly right.
So you could go for Jer Messiah and
Jomador.
Yours, Jer brother, Tom, if you really want to.
I like Jomador now.
Jomador.
Yeah, maybe.
Jomador?
Yeah, Jomador.
I guess I'd go Anzac if I had to pick one. It's a nice Aussie battler name,
Yeah, a true blue Aussie. That's what you'd be. Or New Zealander. Or New Zealander, really.
True that.
Okay, so what should John Doe do? John do?
Name thing is interesting because, like, I wonder if you apply for a name like this, like a John Doe, or you want to call your kid Seaman. I wonder if you get put on a list and it's like, let's keep an eye on the Hendersons. They just try to call their kid Seaman. Like, let's just make sure
Seaman Henderson.
Nothing else is going on there.
They're trying to ruin our naming industry. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I agree with you guys in that it's a nice thing. They're trying to pay tribute to someone that they loved and were close with. So surely a middle name will suffice in that situation.
I think middle name is a good idea for that. I would say, look, it's still there. It's still part of who this person is, but you don't want to, if Damon's right in saying that this guy that did name himself John Doe had a whole bunch of problems, then I think it's best to avoid it.
Yeah, I think so.
Do we have anything else to say about John Doe?
No.
Let's move on then. Now, Marcus, what's your song of choice?
Yeah. See, you when you chose your song, Tom, you actually sparked a lot of hatred in me, because the Black Eyed Peas for like the 2000s they were really popular. Every time I heard any of their songs, it was horrible.
Right, of course.
But one of the songs I really actually disliked was